Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We return ourselves once again to the Dragon Age campaign, Rise of the Kunari. When last we met, a few other characters had been introduced into the Inquisition. A few of them, although absent of most, shall we say, rumors and spread. Some of the characters learned some troubling information about the world and what is happening. After all, the Kunari race and main kingdom has declared war on all of Ferelden. And although the Kunari are divided on the subject, there is still a very, very vast and possible looming war coming up. In addition, a lot of the magi of the circle are experiencing strange shifts in the void. The weave is changing. A new continent was discovered west of Ferelden. Technologies are being developed to help in war. Magic is somewhat but subtly changing. Some of the Grey Wardens, although their blood has not stirred, they feel a strange pull to the deep roads. And a possible blight may in fact be in effect. Although this would be an extreme change considering as how the blight only just happened recently and should not happen for at least another few hundred years. As for the Inquisition, they have suffered a mortal blow and were officially disbanded. However, due to the effectiveness of the previous Inquisition and the traits displayed by its members and the necessity that most of the Ferelden High Council realized, the Inquisition has officially been given requisition to once again establish itself, this time with even less restrictions. The Inquisition, to spread itself out and make itself a more effective organization, has started to recruit from sources that originally that they could not. And for the first time ever, there are multiple Grey Wardens who have been assigned and recruited into the Inquisition. And currently, our story takes us to the per said waiting room of said Inquisition, where people from all around who have been selected or tested, or some who have just come of their own tuition to join the Inquisition, are waiting to be talked with, interviewed, and established in the order. Our scene in particular takes us to one individual who was actually just given an assignment by the Inquisition. As she is leaving the alchemist chamber, she must proceed back into the primary room. As she does so, she sees that there are a lot more people getting recruited, and some new characters and faces that she has not seen before. She has a task that has been given to her, but she does not have to leave for another few hours. With all of her supplies perfectly accounted for, she may decide to simply hang around for a moment. There are 3 people in particular in this room that she sees. She sees Pris talking with 2 interesting looking fellows, one being a dwarf, one being what looks to be a human. The human is ordained in somewhat ornate looking and foreign armor and weapons. The dwarf appears to be from the south coast, possibly a merchant, smuggler, or pirate, judging from the looks of how he is dressed. The dwarf's name is called by a woman in blue and white armor with a ornate phoenix on her upper pauldron shoulder, as you can see by the picture.
The dwarf looks at the woman.
Name, skills, occupation?
I am Porthos, and I am from Antiva, and for the occupation, let's say I acquire a lot of things. Mostly wine, beautiful wine, and ships. Sometimes women, some people.
I see.
Let's just say I'm an acquirer of a lot of things.
And are there any specifically bounties that we should be worrying about right now?
Well, you see, if I had any bounties to my name, then I would be a very shit acquirer of things, wouldn't I? So I assure you, this man has no bounties to his name.
And why would a man as profitable as yourself want to join the Inquisition of all things?
Well, you see, I kinda got almost killed by one of your people. If I do not join, he will slit my throat, find me, feed me to his dogs, and so now I am forced to join your illustrious company. He smiles.
She raises an eyebrow, like to the ceiling, and says, "All right." And she starts signing some things. She says, "We do need some more acquisition. By the way, what is..." She kind of stops, just shakes her head, kind of nothing. And she says, "I may actually have a task for you very soon here. You may help yourself to refreshments in the main dining hall, and
Lovely.
she looks you over, and would you roll me in the dice channel 1d20 plus your perception?"
Dice roll. Give me a second. I'm sorry, let me just find it. Perception.
DC 15.
Okay. Oh, that should be easy then. Hey.
Yep. You notice that as she's looking you up and down, her eyes are glowing a very faint white.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "That will be all."
He raises a finger and he looks like he's about to say something, and then he drops it and he starts walking away and he goes, "This wine better be from Antiva because all of your filthy wine is really..." He waves away and then just walks off and tries to get some refreshments.
You proceed on into the dining room, and there are actually a lot of refreshments, and there's actually a pretty decent selection of wine. It seems the Inquisition was doing very well for itself before this whole incident happened.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
She then looks at the ornate man, the ornate sellsword, and she says, "Step forward."
Stepping forward.
Name and occupation.
Augustus ex Porthos. I am a samurai from the Far East.
Interesting. We don't see many ornates from the oversea.
Well, I have fallen out of favor with my grandfather, and he's insisted that I'll just say it, get some seasoning. So here I am.
I see. Are you aware that this land of Ferelden that you have arrived in is going to war?
War doesn't concern me. Only honor does.
I see. Well, hopefully you will find a lot of that here. I must ask, why did you specifically wish to join our Inquisition?
You fight and kill monsters, do you not?
We do.
That's all I need to know.
Well, if it's fighting you want, it's fighting you'll get. And would you also roll me a perception in the dice channel? See if you can see it. Same DC, 15. I said roll a perception, not cast a spell. Okay, so yeah, you also notice that her eyes kind of glow a very kind of a faint white as she's looking you up and down.
What manner of creature are you?
I'm about as human as you.
I don't have glowing white eyes.
You were also not a cleric.
No. But glowing white eyes does not necessarily signify human.
The manifestation of magic sometimes takes on interesting turns for certain people. For some, physical manifestations may occur. For some, it is more spiritual. For some, nothing happens at all. For me, my eyes tend to glow when I am using my divine presence.
I would be careful with your magic that it doesn't wield you instead.
I am well aware. I have been a Grey Warden for 10 years now. I know the costs.
I shall get some refreshments then and leave you to it.
Of course. I will sign your papers over and I will see to it that everything should be in order. Welcome to the Inquisition. Ah, Serena, there you are.
Hey, Chris. I was getting ready.
Indeed. I know this sounds a bit strange, but those two that just joined, I think I'm going to send them along with the caravan, and I think I would like you to actually go along with the caravan when you go to Redcliff.
You want me to make my presence known there?
Not necessarily, no. You can go along with the caravan and just mind your own business, so to speak. When you do announce yourself to Redcliff, merely say that, and she stops for a moment. She's like, that's right, I almost forgot to give these to you. And she holds out some papers for you and a couple documents. And it appears to be like official transcripts for like a noble spice merchant. And she says, this will be your name and alias. You can thank Liliana for the high quality papers.
Right.
If things should go poorly, just let us know. And she also hands you a small little piece, kind of like a container or box. Very small, almost like it would fit earrings. And if you open it up, you find that there's a small piece of silver thread in it. Oh, and by the way, out of character, for those who are not talking, go ahead and just click the little mute icon up at the top. That way, if you're typing or something else is happening, we don't hear any of the stuff going on in the background. Okie dokie. Yeah, so she hands you a small box with this little piece of silver thread in it.
What is... what can I do with this?
This is for communication purposes. We have a few among us who are talented in long-range communication. It's a bit quicker than sending pigeons and whatnot.
So, what do you want me to do with it exactly in order to initiate?
When someone wishes to speak with you through the veil, the silver thread will glow. All you may need but do is touch it, and someone will be able to communicate with you. In the time that you are in contact with the silver thread and with one of our speakers, you will be able to communicate back, and they will be able to communicate with you. This will be for secretive communication
I
purposes.
assume this needs to be done privately, right?
The business does need to be done privately.
Mm-hmm.
That is why we gave you a little bit more subtle form of communication than pigeons, just in case.
Okay. I was thinking more of uh going completely the stealth route, the spy route.
Indeed. If you honestly did not wish to
I mean,
immerse yourself, she stops. She says, "If you honestly did not wish to immerse yourself at all, I merely gave you the papers in case anyone gives you trouble. Always have a
oh
backup."
yes, oh yes. I might actually have a disguise made as well. So
Indeed, you may go about this however you see fit. Just don't. Well, she kind of chuckles and she says, "Just don't murder a bunch of nobles that don't require it, and don't burn down Redcliff Keep to the ground. We need to set established. The King of Redkeep does know that the person we have there will inevitably be has permission. You do have permission to do shady things. He does not know what you look like, what your name is, or even whether you are human, male, or female.
mm-hmm.
But if something should go awry, and you do wind up in the dungeon or on the chopping block, we will be there to aid. Do not worry about that much. But
I would
indeed,
prefer that it didn't go that far.
of course, exactly. And you may go about your business as you see fit, although, as you said, stealth would probably be the more recommended option, since we still do not know who we can trust in times of war coming up.
Well, I'll have you know I have acquired poisons.
If you see fit,
My
if you see,
main, well, my main plan is to use a sleep potion when I have enough evidence and be able to isolate and interrogate.
of course,
If I
understood.
feel that there is a direct threat either to the king or to our overall plans, then I will employ more permanent measures. But this is just a last resort solution I don't wish to use.
Of course. We have already gone over this, and me and Lily have spent a long time discussing it. But we have been given full on order to do what is necessary. If you find it necessary, then no one will question you at this point. But as I said before, do be careful. There are delicate matters in this problem, but you are specialist in this, so I have chosen you for this. You will not be alone either. Liliana and I have a few individuals that are already stationed that will give you some information here and there when you arrive.
Is there a way I would identify them?
Yes. She points to the little badge that she gave you when you joined the Inquisition, and she says, "For mostly, keep that hidden. But those who are stationed currently, right now, at Redcliff, are not undercover and are officially there as diplomats for the Inquisition. They will proudly be displaying their badges of Inquisition of
Right.
Inquisitorial
It's helpful.
authority. You will be able to find them. All you need but do is show them your requisition, and you should be able to talk very easily."
Good, then I will depart at once. Still need a few days to reach.
Hmm. And the caravan will be leaving fairly soon, within the so and so hours of the day. I will go see if I can send some individuals along with the caravan and just blend right into the caravan as you travel. It should be a lot easier. It also should be a lot safer on the roads. I recommended this because as of recently, we've been having some bandit problems to the north. So we
Well, I'm sure if trouble finds us, I will be able to defend them. I wouldn't
Yes.
mind some extra coin.
Actually, now that I think about that, she hands you another bag. This one has about a good 80 gold pieces, and she says mostly for technical purposes, so to speak. If you wish to use this however you wish. And you also notice that there's a couple platinum pieces in there. Basically, I'm using standard issue currency. I know it's not what Dragon Age uses, but basically the Dragon Age version of platinum. She gives you a couple coins in there.
Okay.
She says, I will go talk with a few individuals, and I will be sending a few on the way to the caravan. There will be other assignments that I must give to people. She then gives you a nod. She says, good luck, Serena.
I will try to finish the mission as best as possible. I can't promise how quick it will be, but you want good results, I assume.
I expect nothing less.
Good.
She then strolls on over. You see her pick up her two rapiers and belt them on, and then she walks on over to the dining hall. What are the dwarf and the samurai doing?
The dwarf is trying to find a very good drink.
I am sampling your various cuisines to see which I do and don't endure, so to speak.
As I said before, the Inquisition was doing fairly well and was well requisitioned before the supposed ban or supposed disbanning. And there's a lot of really good food and wine here. So there's definitely something for everyone. You see Priscilla walk into the dining hall, and she points over to the dwarf and over to Augustus and kind of snaps her fingers and gives you the motion to follow her.
The dwarf will follow her while carrying a flagon of whatever the hell he is drinking.
I keep a respectful distance behind the dwarf and follow.
She leads you outside into one of the front courtyards, and she walks into a big, what looks like sparring circle.
And the
And she
meaning of this
says,
is?
I may have a task for you as of today, but I need to make sure that you two can handle yourselves.
Are you going to make us kill each other? Is that it? How very crows of you.
She takes
like
she takes one of her rapiers and throws it in a very odd manner, like almost like a throwing knife, and sticks both of her rapiers into a wooden dummy, which you have never seen before because throwing a rapier does not work like that and is difficult. And yet she just threw two rapiers and they stuck perfectly into a dummy's head.
You are very good at attacking dummies.
She then goes and grabs some blank foils, basically training rapiers. And she tosses one to the dwarf, and she's like, "You first."
What do you want me to strike? You, I assume? Or is this whatever he is?
She takes a defensive stance in the
Well,
circle with you.
he looks at the man next to him and he hands him the flagon and he stares him in the eyes. Do not spill my drink. And then he picks up the thing and
Be
then
quick,
he's
dwarf.
going.
I don't hold other people's trash.
He stares at him, picks up the weapon, and then he does a fighting stance. And he I guess tries to attack her. Let's
Okay.
see.
1d20 plus your main hand.
The 23 hit.
Yeah, but I got some stuff she can do. Roll me a perception because she's going to do a parry.
Okay. Oh shit.
Okay, as you lunge forward and try to attack her with the rapier, she parries you. She'll spend a grit point to do that. She parries with your rapier and then does a riposte. So she will just attack you as normally. Uh, 32 to AC. I believe that hits by quite a lot.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
this will all be non-combat damage because it's just training weapons. So she'll roll it. So 6 non-lethal, non-combat damage.
Okay.
As you thrust forward and go to stab straight at her, you kind of bluntly, just very, not even very, extremely, just go straight for her. And as you extend, you find yourself overextending just a little bit, and you find that she has quite a bit of skill, and she parries downward in a anti-clockwise motion. And then as she brings the sword down in an anti-clockwise motion, she brings it forward and thrusts forward herself. And you find that your sword is now over hers, and her sword is under, and the point of her sword is going straight at your chest.
He looks at the sword and he looks at her.
She's like, not bad. And you spar for a little bit more. Go ahead and roll me just a couple attack rolls to see how well you do. And she'll roll a couple attack rolls.
How many do I roll?
2.
Okay.
It'll be a short little. So that was definitely a hit. You got her on that one. She got you on that one.
Oh,
And
definitely
yeah,
got her on that one.
Definitely got her on that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And she's actually going to use a grit point to do this. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a crit. Roll to confirm. Let's see. Yeah, that confirms.
Yep, that.
So yeah, you actually spend a couple times as you're fighting. She's quite good. You guys are kind of fighting in a typical fencing manner, and you guys are actually doing very well. You hit her a few times, and you actually, in the middle of the fight, you hit her quite well without her even being able to rebuke. There's a couple times she hits you, and then at the very end of the fight, actually right after you hit her on the shoulder and give her a really nice downward kind of chop with a rapier, because yes, you can cut with a rapier. You cut downward, and it's a perfect stroke, and you're able to get her right across the chest. And if it had been real blades, that would have been a killing stroke. And as you come down, your flourish is very good, but you slightly overextend your arm and you leave your shoulder exposed.
Mhm.
And she steps forward and in midair, almost very quickly, tosses the rapier to her other hand, holds your right hand down, and then literally as fast as the eye can see, if she had not stopped her fist in front of your face, she would have pommel smashed you.
Oof.
And then she says, "Good. Very good. That'll be all from you."
Okay then. Oof. I think I need a stronger drink than I carried. He waddles back to the Oriental man.
Here, dwarf.
He takes his thing, starts chugging the flagon.
She gets out, she tosses you a curved wooden training sword, and she grabs two wooden swords of her own and holds them in a duelist stance.
Are you challenging me?
I wish to have a sparring match to see your skill.
I didn't ask that.
She thinks for a moment, kind of squints her eyes at you. She says, "Yes."
Challenge accepted.
She holds the swords in a typical duelist pose. Go ahead and roll me a couple attack rolls.
Yeah.
This fight's going to go a little bit differently. She's actually going to focus a lot less on offense with you and more about simply parrying and trying to be defensive against your attacks. So let's see what we can do here. Good hit. Go ahead and roll me another one.
Are you
So
trying to
again,
charge me?
no. This is just exchange, basically. So yeah, as the fight begins, once again, you get a few good hits on her. She gets a few good hits on you. For that last attack, she's going to try something. Instead of rolling offense, would you roll your combat maneuver bonus, your CMB or CB? And that will be versus her CMD. And she will try to do a disarm. Okay, she actually manages to pull it off because you don't hit her CMD.
What's her same day?
23.
Uh,
Close. That was real close. So as you kind of stab forward, you go in for a thrust, and you kind of just overextend a little bit to the right, and she's just barely able.
she has
She
to try and
clipped
hit
her
my CMD.
Yeah, she blocks back,
Make her roll.
and she deflects it, and now let's see if she can actually disarm it. What is your CMD?
27.
Yeah, this will be tough to hit. He's going to spend a grip point just to make it a little bit better.
Cheating. Nope, failed.
Yep. So she parries you, and she tries to like go for a disarm, but you're like, no. You pull back. And she sits there and kind of looks at you in that duelist stance, and she's going to go ahead and try and do a disarm on her turn.
Ooh, that was a sweet hit.
Yep, so once again, you hit her. I believe that's actually a crit for you. It is a crit for you. Roll 1d20 plus your ordinary attack bonus to see if you confirm.
In that case, I've got 2 crits.
That's right, you do. Go ahead and roll me 2 confirmations then.
I crit on me crit.
Well, it was just a confirmation roll, but yeah, that is definitely a crit, no doubt about it.
And the other one with a crit as well. I take it you didn't defend against me because you got a lot lower.
Mm-hmm. I'm just seeing how she does. Okay, so you got 2 crits on her during the fight. She got 1 on you. So yeah, as the fight progresses, you get some really good hits on her. Like, she is not ready for that. You get a hit on her shoulder, you get a hit on her upper chest, and you even get a hit on her leg as she overextends. when you come in and retaliate,
Phone quickly.
when you retaliate, she does get a really good hit on you. When you come in for an overhand chop, she avoids, and she smashes her sword down on your wrist, which, like, ow. But this fight is clearly going in your favor. You are pushing her back, and clearly the superior swordsman in this fight. After she tried to parry you and failed, you go about fighting some more. Although she is very skilled, as I said, you do seem to have the advantage in this fight quite a bit. But she is not absent skilled. And she goes in for one more move before the fight ends. And your CMD is 27, you said? She wants to try one more time. And you are still muted, by the way. And I believe that hits your CMD. I believe he is on his phone at the moment, so I will go ahead and wait.
My apologies, I had to relieve myself.
No worries. She hits your CMD.
My CMD actually should be 30.
It's 30?
Yeah.
Oh, she got 35. She got 18. She rolled well.
She did roll well.
Yep, she spent a grit point to do it too. That's not going to be a disarm, though. She's going to do a sweep. So you are knocked prone.
Can I not
And
dodge that?
she'll get a free attack on you as you stand up, but I doubt it's going to do much. So go ahead and stand up, and she'll do 1 attack, and then you'll roll 1 more attack against her, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Does a 22 hit your AC, by the way?
Yes. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. No,
It
it doesn't.
does not. So she missed. As you stand up, you roll away, and you're like, ah! And she just barely misses you. And go ahead and stand up and do an attack. Oh, yeah, that hits.
Before I came here, I was trained by the finest swordsman by my grandfather.
Yep, so as she does a double downward stab towards the ground, you roll out of the way very, very quickly. And as you come up, you basically have a free shot at her back, and you whack her on the back. And she turns to you and says, "Good."
You can see it.
She holds her swords downward in a cross motion, which is typical for a concealed sealed stance.
I hold my sword in front of me in a salute and bow.
And she says, "Well, you're pretty good." we'll have to do this again sometime. And she goes and she retrieves her rapiers and puts them into her belt. She kind of rubs the shoulder where you actually hit her right on the pauldron, but still seem to hit her pretty bad. And she says, well, I think I've chosen 2 people who would be excellent for the task at hand. We've been having bandit problems along the northern routes, and we're sending a caravan to Redcliff very soon, within a couple hours. If you and the dwarf wouldn't mind going on as guard duty for now, you will be paid, and if...
Your instructions for if we meet the bandits?
Oh, if they give you trouble, kill on sight. Bloodshed avoided would be preferable, but if they come to you and give you no choice, then by all means, do whatever you need to do.
Do you want any body parts as proof?
Oh, no. These particular bandits along the trade route do not really have any bounties on their head at the moment. They're fairly fresh and new. So there is no warranted reward for them, per se. However, if you do encounter a lot of trouble, you shall be rewarded for them.
Understood.
And she says, if you and the dwarf will come meet me in my office, I will get you paid, requisitioned, and I will send you on your way as soon as possible.
Okay, then.
Ugh. Need water. Okay, so she leads you both into the office, and she each tosses you a bag of 100 gold pieces. And she says, that is upfront payment. You'll get another bag when you get back safely.
Easy. That's quite very easy.
Indeed.
Mm.
Do keep mindful of the roads. There are worse things than bandits out here.
I should have joined. I should have. Oh crap! I lost the accent. Oh no! Shit. I should have joined your company a long time ago if getting gold is this easy.
Oh,
I
don't count.
I trust my pet will not be an issue.
No, it's we have a few Mabari around here as well. The wolf is not a problem. Just she chuckles a bit. She's like, "Don't have it to eat anyone, please."
No promises.
Unless they're bandits, of course.
You Pharrell the nurse and your wet dogs.
My
She looks
pet
at you
is not
two.
a dog. It is a superior breed of direwolf.
Right. So when do we leave?
You leave in a few hours.
There's enough time to get proper drinks then.
Of course. Good luck, gentlemen. Welcome to your first task as Inquisitions.
Mm.
So we are Inquisitors now?
Well, I'm not really entirely sure what titles we would give to members of the Inquisition, as whether or not we are all Inquisitors or just the higher-ups. She kind of almost seems to think that over for a bit. And she's like, I guess you could call everyone here an Inquisitor, because we do have most permissions, but everyone has their own assignments, tasks, and ranks, so I don't know. Perhaps we'll see what people call you when you enter Redcliff. We'll see. That's a good question. I'll have to ponder that over for a bit.
I would assume they would call us drunks and filth.
Speak for yourself, dwarf.
You need to live a little.
Grandfather would be pleased at this title.
You also noticed one other thing, JP, when you were fighting her. You were indeed the superior swordsman in that fight, and you also noticed that throughout the fight, she did not actually seem to use any magic. And you've experienced magic before, and she did not use any. And she did have the ability to, so it was. It makes you wonder what the whole glowing eye thing was earlier. Like why specifically she was looking at you two when that happened. Because you realize that indeed it must have been magic, but you don't know why she was doing it specifically.
In my land, where we come from, glowing eyes signify mutation. A mutation must be purged.
Do you say that to her?
Yes?
She says, I assure you this is no mutation. I have seen mutation and I've seen magic. Two different things.
As you say.
Porthos is just gonna slowly back out of the room as you guys are talking about this because he does not give a shit and does not want to get involved.
She says, tell me, what happened in your land against those who have a mutation to cause you so much strife?
The abhorrent were, how would you say it, guarded by the peasantry until they eventually rose up and killed my father. At which point my grandfather took over, and we then rid our land of the mutation, and we killed anyone who sheltered them, be they kin or friend or family, it mattered not.
I see. Well, if you see anyone with a mutation here, remember one thing. This is the land of Ferelden. These are not your lands. People here are not the same people that you encountered in your land. And if you have any prejudices, she points to her head, and she says, keep it up here. As much as I like you as a swordsman, and even though I still barely know you, you are quite skilled and would be quite of value to this Inquisition.
My prejudices are both dignified and private.
She nods. She says, good. Sometimes you may be required to keep them here. Can you do that?
I will do as I'm instructed.
Good. Then for now, get yourself requisitioned if you need any supplies or tools. Join the caravan to Redcliff and back. Report back to me when you are back here. And let me know how everything went.
Certainly.
Of course. You have your orders. You are dismissed.
Charlie, let's go. Are you coming, dwarf?
You notice that the dwarf has already left the room. He snuck out very, very carefully behind you as you two were talking.
Muttering under my breath. Fucking drunken dwarfs.
All right. So, all three characters, as all of you are proceeding out to the caravan after a few hours, you notice it is a rather large trade. They've got spices, cloth, and paper that they are supposedly taking to Redcliff, and supposedly Redcliff is sending back a lot of food and ore material like iron, gold, etc. And this caravan is about a good 50 people, about 5 major wagons, along with horses and a couple other just trade wagons or passenger wagons. And the caravan sets off. As it is setting off, you guys can banter amongst yourselves, and I'll go ahead and get some stuff out here, and I'll let you know if anything happens along this first route here. It's a 2 days travel.
Well, at least while we're traveling along here, my companion can get some exercise.
You notice that your wolf is getting some stares, but nothing really, that requires attention.
It's
Some of
a,
the horses get a little scared, but once again, it doesn't really pose much of a problem.
it's a good thing this place is more feudal, or I'd have to execute them for upsetting my wolf.
Do you actually say that out loud?
Yes.
Oh, the dwarf is gonna go. You should probably keep your mouth shut. You knowing these Fereldeners, they might try to mob you and slit your throat.
If only I were so lucky. I'd be rid of my grandfather's tedious task, but I must press on.
You know, I could give you someone who can do that for you for a bit of coin.
We may get on after all, dwarf.
Are you sure you don't want to? I can give you coordinates to their beautiful place.
Don't you mean directions?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Unless they're places at sea.
Yes.
Dwarf, I would worry about your own strange language than mine.
Uh,
They may consider you a witch and try to burn you.
why would they do such a terrible thing to such a lovely person such as I?
Fear thee not, dwarf. Should they burn you, I promise I shall shoot you in the head before the flames reach you.
What a lovely thought. I will do the same, except maybe I'll miss, so who knows?
Alrighty, Serena, is there anything you wish to declare or say as the caravan is going?
Well, I'm not going to introduce myself to the other two. I'm gonna be very low key and undercover.
Should I try and spot you with
I'll
perception?
probably have like a disguise on.
I mean, you two can. Well, actually, let's go ahead and have a little roll off here. Serena, you've got a disguise. You said you got papers. You got everything. Go ahead and roll me 1d20 plus your stealth, but add 10.
Stealth. Where's my stealth? Stealth. Oh. What am I
Yeah.
rolling?
Your stealth. Your stealth plus 10. So just add 10 to whatever your score is and roll
Yeah,
that.
but what die do I roll?
1d20
Yeah.
slash
1d20?
roll 1d20 plus your total stealth.
Out of
Plus
And,
10.
out of character.
Plus stealth plus 10.
It's going to be 1d20
Yeah?
plus your stealth plus 10. So just add 10 to your stealth and just roll total.
Okay.
So like if your stealth, go ahead.
I did the Romans challenging at you, by the way.
Huh? I did.
No, that's okay.
I did.
Yeah, so you rolled that. So the samurai and the dwarf may roll perception.
Just flat perception, no bonuses or penalties?
Yeah. Flat.
Man, I doubt we can even beat that. That's a 43. Jesus.
Expulsio. I love how Larry is messing up on his rolls and casting spells instead. Okay, so you guys notice like some people walking around, and you know you notice that there are a lot of people in the caravan with you. You don't notice anything unusual about any of them, really.
What
You
about
see
my
a very you do see one woman who's in disguise, and Christine, you can go ahead and describe your disguise, what they see, but other than that, you guys don't see much about her at all.
Wait, my wolf.
Well, they just see like a normal, what would pass as a merchant, nothing really appearing to be out of the ordinary, just a normal, dress, cape on top.
Charlie gets a 33.
Yep, still not enough.
I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't have any reason to suspect
Indeed. Well, that's
that
the thing is that
anyone,
it's
yeah, unless
this
they were
particular perception roll is it was mostly just to notice to see how well you hid your weapons and whether or not you looked maybe per se a little different than someone, but they were at a pretty big disadvantage because they don't know you, they don't know what to look for, and because you're in a disguise and have hid yourself so well and basically hid your weapons and what you're doing, it's they really have no reason to suspect you of anything. And the wolf does catch a smell, but he doesn't really seem to like do much with it. He just kind of, he looks at her, he smells, and he just kind of, it's if a wolf could look back at you and shrug, that's basically what would happen. Like none of you, not you, not the wolf, not the dwarf, no one detects anything abnormal about her. Serena, go ahead and describe what your disguise is, because your character is very good looking. Is she covering that up, or is that just part of the disguise?
No, I'd say it's part of the disguise. Uh, okay, give me a
Okay.
second.
So literally the only thing you guys really notice about her at all, due to the circumstances and the disguise, is that she's a very beautiful woman. Other than that, you guys really aren't catching anything off of her.
I mean, yeah, he wears plain like clothes, like a merchant would. He has like a satchel, but that's about it. I mean, of course, I'm armed, but they're under the dress.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's
Yeah,
they have no reason they have no reason to suspect you. There's nothing going on. They don't know you. You're well disguised. She really just looks like another person on the caravan with you. Other than her beauty, that's really the only thing that stands out at all. After
but
a
the
while,
question is, do I notice them? Because I saw them before talking with.
I do not think either of them is trying to stealth, so I'll go ahead and just say, yeah, you do notice them.
So I know they're my backup
Yes.
in case something.
Yeah, these were the two you saw talking with Priscilla earlier. So, the trip is mostly eventful. However, there will be something that will happen along the way. Um, as the caravan approaches a rest stop and everyone kind of pulls over to the side of the road and starts making camp and whatnot, the two guards, the dwarf and the fighter, along with a couple other guards that have been requisitioned for the event, kind of you're standing near the front, and some of the other guards are talking with you about basically sleep shifts, like who's going to take this position, who's going to do what. And would you and the dwarf and the wolf roll me a perception?
The first one's for me, second one's for the wolf.
The dwarf is very drunk at the moment, apparently.
Goddamn wolf. Dwarf, have you been giving him beer?
just a tiny bit. He looked very thirsty. Well, I didn't give him beer exactly. I gave him some dragon piss, but I guess it counts for beer.
If looks could kill your ass to be kissing dirt. Still, I got 27% for me perception.
Should I roll too?
Yes. Oh, and by the way,
12.
one of the other guards, the other men along the caravan who's been assigned to guard it with you looks like that. The picture that's up right now for me.
Damn.
He basically looks like he belongs in the night watch. So let me see your perception rolls. Success, success, success. Well, everyone succeeded. So as you're sitting talking about shifts, all who rolled notice that you guys are not alone. It seems that there are some figures coming from the right side of the road on the woodland area that seem to be creeping up on you guys. But you notice them.
I want to go into stealth mode.
Roll stealth. Stealth mode activated.
$33.
Very nice. Yeah, you are very stealthy. And nope, no one sees you.
I'll try to not flank them exactly, just go behind them. So if they start any shit, I can start taking them out.
Can I go to the tree line, like where we think they are, and like go take a piss near them or something, and just like analyze the area while taking a piss. try
Sure.
to-
Go ahead and roll me deception +5. Or sorry, bluff +5.
+5.
Go ahead and roll some insight checks here. Okay. The bandits do not seem to pay you mind. Well, they pay you mind, but they don't seem to be, they don't seem to
Yeah.
know that you know they're there.
Yeah, they just think I'm a drunk bastard taking a leak.
Which is not too far from the truth.
Hey,
Pee on
perfect.
them.
Sometimes the greatest deception is the truth.
Do I notice how many there are?
Looks to be about 7.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell what kind of weapons do they have, or just is it too dark or something?
Go ahead and roll me perception. It's starting to get dark, so yeah, perception check.
28.
That will do it. These bandits appear to be armed. A couple appear to be armed with some longbows. The rest of them appear to be armed with short swords or hatchets.
Mhm.
They appear to be
I,
armored in typical leather or studded leather.
Mhm. I guess I finish pissing and then try to stumble back to where everyone else is, and I tell them what I saw.
So, Dwarf, do you want to go get some exercise then?
That depends on what kind of exercise we are talking about.
Using your hands for something other than lifting that thing into your mouth.
I gotcha. Sure, why not? It has been a long time since I have swung something. Let's do this.
Charlie, come.
The man who you were talking with about shifts comes up and he says, "Well, they're obviously here for trouble. What do you guys want to do about that?"
We will deal with these. Go back to sleep.
Are you sure? I mean, it is a bit boring over here.
And there are 7 of them. And there's 2 of us. Well, 3 of us. 2.5, because your dog doesn't count.
My dog, as you put it, would tear your head off quite easily, Dwarf.
Yes. Still, there are 3 of us and 7 of them.
I know there should be more, but what are you going to do?
Well, we can bring the old man with us.
I'll tell you what. We can place some bets here if you like.
Ooh, a bet. What kind?
Well, depending upon how you fellas want to do this, and if you're willing to let an old man like me have a little fun, then why don't we go ahead and make a bet on several things. One, who can make them leave without any casualties, and two, if we do come to blows, who gets more heads.
Well, this is kind of morbid if we are counting who kills the most, but how much are we betting again? Because this could either go very morbid or very, well, nice, depending on the bet.
Well, if it goes nice and you guys are able to silver tongue your way out of this, heck, he looks over at the bandits and then looks at you guys and he's like, well, I'll give you 50 gold apiece. Per head. If we have the head competition, I'll give you 10 gold for every head you beat.
The head competition sounds fine.
You notice that he is dressed very much like in the picture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he does have a very, very well-crafted looking sword at his hip. And you notice something, since no one noticed this and no one rolled high enough for it. You feel something brush past your leg. Augustus.
Something brushes past my leg.
Yeah. But there's
it
nothing
isn't-
there.
And my wolf didn't see it either.
No, your wolf starts to smell something, though, and it points kind of like a pointer dog, not quite, but towards Grumph. And you see Grumph kind of reach down, and he almost seems to pet something, but there's nothing there.
Grump.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the dwarf, and is it the person we're talking to?
Yeah, he's mentioned his name. Yeah, he mentioned his name is Grumph earlier.
Grump. What exactly
Yes.
is he doing?
Oh, sorry. Well, it's a bit embarrassing, really. But he gets nervous sometimes. And when he's nervous, this happens. Hey, listen, boy. It's okay.
What do you mean?
We're among friends.
What do you mean he
Go.
gets nervous?
Go ahead and show yourself. Come on. And he, seems to stroke and do a little bit more calming words. And when he does this, a smaller, but still a wolf, appears before him out of thin air. Pure white. White as snow.
What, just like mine?
Yeah. Except it's not a big wolf like yours. This is just it's a big wolf, but it's just a standard size wolf.
What
About
is
the
it
size
with
of a big Mabari.
What is it with you humans and your dogs?
Dwarf.
Oh, they
for
make-
the second time, my pet is not a dog, it's a direwolf. Not only is it a direwolf, it's a pure breed direwolf.
Right.
It's rare to see a purebred direwolf from the Feywoods so close here to the central Ferelden. This right here is my good boy Fang. Like I said, he gets a bit nervous, but he is actually from the Dalish woods.
How
Ah,
unfortunate for you.
He looks over and he's like no. This is fun for us. You go watch the caravan boy. And the wolf kind of looks at him, tilts its head, whimpers a little bit, but then goes back to the caravan, plops up on a one of the wagons, sits, and looks out at the bandits and you guys. And as you guys kind of take a look back, you can see that the bandits are still unaware that they're there. Although some of them have stopped and looked up now and seen the wolves because they're close enough now. And a few of them are kind of like, and they start to kind of think about what they're doing.
I I whisper to everyone that's in our vicinity. I have a very stupid plan that just might work. It is very stupid and it might get me killed, but if it
Well,
works, it will be highly amusing.
Dwarf, it is your plan. I expect nothing less.
Well, that is very fucking rude. Could you at least be fake happy or something? Not
You want
rude.
you want me to lie to you?
Yes, I want you
I
to like.
I don't lower myself to that.
Okay then. So, would you fun bastards let me do my stupid plan and see if
I,
it works?
by all means.
He basically starts stumbling towards the bandits.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's gonna go. Uh, he's gonna pretend to be really sloshed and go walk to them and try to give them an offer. He goes. When he gets close enough, he goes, "Oh, oh, y- are you guys doing anything? Cause I might have a very beautiful offer for you, my friends." He like stumbling, holding on a tree or something.
Roll me a
Looks
bluff.
really drunk.
Yep, go ahead and roll me a bluff.
Sorry, give me a second. 16. Well, crap. Well, that's not good.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll insight.
Oh, nice.
They buy it. They kind of look at you, and like they look back at the caravan, and they look at all the armed people, and then they look back at you, and they're kind of like, okay. One of the guys kind of comes forward, and he's like, so, what's this offer you got?
You want fun, yes? Well, gold and fun, yes?
Kind of looks at you confused, like he's not entirely sure what you're saying, and he's like, yeah.
Look, there are only 7 of you bastards, and there's a lot of armed bastards down there. I have an offer. If you play with me and get shit-faced with me, I will give you 20 silver, not 20 gold pieces. You do not die, you get fed, and, well, I get to have fun. He tries to give them his, what do you call it? Water skin filled with alcohol. Take a sip.
I kind of they're just looking at you. Serena, you see this, by the way, all happening.
I'm just waiting to see what will happen. If
Yep.
there's no conflict, I'm gonna go back to my tent. If there's
Yep.
conflict, I'm gonna start, backstabbing some other
Yep.
fuckers.
Hmm.
Hopefully, in a way that I can go back to my tent without being seen by anyone.
Oh yes. So they look at you, and he like looks down at the flask. And the guy kind of looks back at his men, gives a little shrug, takes a swig of it. What's in the flask, or what's in the canteen?
It's a very strong spirit. I have no clue what
Right.
maybe.
So he's gonna have to roll a fortitude check. He passes. He takes a drink of it, kind of looks at it and goes, yeah, they're really good. Passes around. A few of the other guys have sort of, yeah, it's really good.
So basically what he's going to do now is try to lead them further away from the camp and try to get them as shit-faced as possible.
Them seeing you as an easy target, they'll kind of go along with it for now. One of the other bandits tries to, well, go ahead and roll me a perception. Yeah, Oh, geez.
Crit. It's a crit.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, one of the other bandits tries to pickpocket you, but you can see him coming a mile away.
I'll let it happen for now. And I'll
Okay,
just keep on waiting for them to get
uh,
shit-faced.
he takes the bag that you were given by Pris. So they'll kind of go along and they'll try and take they'll basically just try and rob you blind. Go ahead and roll me 2 fortitude saves, please. DC is 14, and then I'll roll for them.
Fortitude. Oh crap! I hope I don't get shit-faced. Oh, nice.
Yeah, you're fine.
Damn it.
These bandits have fucking amazing luck with their fortitude, I'll tell you that much.
Damn it, man.
Yeah.
God
So
damn
it takes like 3 or 4 hours like before any of them even remotely look like they're getting shit-faced.
God damn it.
Eventually, like a couple of them kind of look like they're getting shit-faced, but these guys have some fucking like vigor. You're finding that there's still like a majority of them that are not even close to getting shit-faced.
Excuse me. At this point, my bored character walks over. Dwarf, what exactly are you doing?
Why are you here? I've tried to get them drugs so I can slit their throats.
All right. So deception is immediately broken, and they draw their weapons.
Oh, look what.
Right. If that's the case, Charlie's going to lead the one, and I'm going to do a lunge attack.
You idiot! You have ruined my ruse.
So Grumph, who is looking over from the edge, now sees this. And he is going to... Let me see here. I need to make sure because he was holding an action, waiting for this specifically. So he's going to do this action, and then you guys will roll initiative. So Grumph is not going to hide this at all. He's going to be like, Augustus, step left real quick. And if you step left real quick, the bandit in front of you that you're lunging at is going to be entangled with vines.
Ooh, that makes it handier to step.
And everyone go ahead and roll initiative. And then post your initiative in the Google Hangouts chat.
What do we roll for initiative? And do I have any advantage for being in stealth?
It's on your sheet as initiative. Your character sheet as initiative.
Yeah. So it's 1 plus initiative.
They will not know you're there, and you will gain a bonus to your first offensive attack, and you will gain sneak attack, but you will gain no bonus to your initiative.
Oh, that was bad.
It was taking him so long to get them wasted, you almost fell asleep in the bush you were hiding in.
At least some of them are wasted, so that's good enough for me.
Oh, yes!
It's like, why am I rolling like such a boss right now? That was for Grump. That was for Grump, not the bandits.
Right, and Wolfie McWolfalat?
Now I'm rolling for the bandits.
Brandon.
Oh, geez. Look at that bandit roll.
Oh my god.
Special fried rice for barbecue sauce.
That's it?
Yeah.
Right, so.
I actually put down a portion of prawns.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're deep fried or not, but a portion of prawns.
I'll give you a ring. I'm going to
portion of special fried rice and a portion of barbecue sauce. And I thought that's my dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a large
special
fried rice. Okay.
Next time Yeah, no worries. Next time, just mute yourself. But so as the samurai orders Chinese food,
I know what time to be here at
Yeah, no.
6 o'clock now.
Fuck, hang on a minute. Sorry, what's Wolfie's initiative? And fuck up laughing.
Okay, so you wanted to roll for your wolf, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for the doggy.
What's his initiative?
His initiative is actually, it should actually be on your sheet. I think I forgot to print him out for you, but his initiative is 8.
Oh, he's good.
Why does the
Oh, yeah.
dog have higher initiative than me?
Because he's super quick.
Cause he's a good doggy. He's gonna savage them good. No, he's faster than Christine.
It's okay, everyone's rolling like shit anyways. Although, look at that bandit roll.
Yeah, that was super fail. Like, yeah.
So, the bandits all step up and draw their weapons and are slow as fuck. Go ahead and post your initiatives in the Google Hangouts chat though, like Matthew did. Okay. Roll Fez 19.
Larry.
I'm posting.
Posting.
For having so big initiative, you're kind of slow, man.
Okay, so the person who will go first is actually Grumph, and he was holding his action. He did the vine thing. And then he is going to look over at some of the bandits, and he's going to spring forward at one that's drawing a longbow, and he's going to charge. So we'll give him a bonus to hit.
Grump.
That hits. He'll go ahead and roll damage. The enhanced blade, so 8 plus 6. He'll do 8 damage to that bandit, and then he'll roll another because his sword is enchanted. So 9, 10, 11. So in total, he does 11 slashing damage to this guy, and that is enough to bring him down. You see Grump kind of spring forward, and for those of you, it's kind of hard to tell because you're all in the heat of battle. But he seems to spring forward, and it's almost like he teleports rather than dash forward. Although it doesn't seem like any portal or anything was open like that. He just seems to have like maybe out of character. This is force stride, but he seems to stride forward. He jumps up and he does a downward slash at the bandit and just cleaves him in half. Next up is 13 for Charlie.
There's 7 bandits, so I suppose he'll charge the one beside who Grumpf attacked.
15. Roll 1d20 plus 15 for the attack.
Plus my melee.
Well, it's the wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1d20 plus 15.
Plus 8 for charge.
If he wishes to charge, that will be plus 17.
Grand. $32.
Very easily hits. Damage is 1d6 plus 6.
I actually get a bit higher.
I'm sorry, it's 1d6 plus 8. Sorry.
I get 1d8 plus 10.
I know. This is your dog, not you.
Yeah, that's my dog. 1d8 plus 10.
Oh, that's your dog? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's
Wrong
very
sheet I'm
violent.
looking at. I know, I remember. I'm looking at the standard sheet here, but your guy's a little bit enhanced. So yeah, go ahead.
$13 damage.
That'll be 13 damage, and that will kill him. He gets to have a snack. Yeah, go ahead and describe how he kills him, because you got him. How do you want to do this?
Jumps onto his chest and literally rips out his throat with one savage bite.
Very nice. We're up to Matthew or Mr. Pralta.
The dwarf will face palm and he goes, "Oh, you bastards! You ruined my master plan." And then he tries to stab someone next to him.
So he just pulls out a sword and just randomly stabs a guy. Okay. 1d20 plus your main attack. Go for it.
That's a let me confirm that.
That's a crit. That's right. You've got improved critical.
Hey, that's a crit.
Yep, that's a crit. So double damage dice.
Do I basically turn that 1d6 into a 2d6, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. So how do you want to do this?
I basically slash someone's throat. Like after face bombing, and then I look to my left, and then I slash someone's throat. Who's
one of the bandits with hatchets. He was getting ready to charge. He's like, "What?" And then as you do, "Oh, my plan failed." You just pull out your sword and slash his throat, and he falls forward. Augustus.
Charge.
All right, you get a +2 this, and +1 to damage.
I'm actually using my sword this time.
I know. Are you charging?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're charging, +2 to hit, +1 to damage.
I'm using both hands on the sword.
Yes. So it's going to be your max damage on your sheet. You'll see main hand, and you'll see two-handed. That'll be your damage.
So you said I got a +2 to charge?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on a +18.
Yep. That is a hit.
Yeah. Damage is a D8 +8 plus a D6.
Mm-hmm. I take it you're activating your sword's ability then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Uh, 15 damage.
That will kill him. Down he goes.
Just a straight slice through the chest, so he's basically nearly cleaved in half. Is that one shot?
Yep.
Can I make a second attack?
You did kill him. Let me see if there are any adjacent. There is one bandit adjacent, and then there are 4 bandits left that came out.
I got a +13 on my second attack.
Mm-hmm. Because you do have cleave.
31.
That is a crit. That is a crit. Roll to confirm. That is confirmed. So this will be double damage. Don't even bother rolling it because this guy's going to be toast. And then after that cleave, there is no one adjacent to you. So you cleave one guy in half, and then you see that the other guy is right next to him. So you just keep going. Christine, it is your turn. It looks like some of the other bandits are starting to back up and try to draw bows because they see the guy with now the giant flaming sword. They're like, ah!
Well, I want to stealth attack one from behind.
You gonna throw your dagger at him or stab him with it?
No, what I want to do is, with one hand, put my hand over his mouth and nose, and with the other hand, slash his throat. That's what I want.
Right, so you're gonna go in for a grapple. This would actually be a coup de grace. Normally, this would be a minus check. However, you are stealthed and they're unaware of your presence, meaning he's going to be flat-footed. So go ahead and roll 1d20 plus your... we'll go ahead and say offense. Normally, you'd roll to grab, so you'd roll your CMB. But we'll go ahead and roll your attack. And it's going to be versus his flat foot, so I doubt you're going to miss.
What's my attack?
Main hand. If you roll down and you look at main hand, it's the highest bonus you'll see.
Where do I see that?
Daggers. It's under daggers.
Oh,
Your daggers.
I
Do you see your
have-
daggers in that bottom? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this bonus is going to get a +4 because you're stealthed.
Is it the 13 or the 8?
It's the 13.
Okay.
So 13 plus 4 is actually total. So 14, 15, 16, 17. You're actually getting a +17. And this will be versus his flat-footed AC.
37.
That's a crit.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's... Jesus Christ, the damage on this is going to be insane. Okay, so go ahead and roll 1d20 plus 17 again, please. That's a confirm. Okay, so here's going to be your damage. Do you see the damage with your daggers? It's right there by all the stuff.
Yeah, which one is the damage?
It's the 1d4 plus.
1d4 plus 2.
So what it's going to actually be is it's going to be 1d4 plus 2 plus 5d6 plus the coup de grace damage. So go ahead and roll 1d4 plus 2 and then roll 5d6. And then for the coup de grace damage, that is times 4. So that's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 times 4.
I'm not a mathematician.
I know, I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So that's going to be, 112 damage. So, so you literally just come up like a boss, and you're just like, clamp, slit. And how are you going to do this? Are you just going to let him fall? Are you going to slowly just bring him back? Like,
No, I'm gonna slowly bring him back, and I'm gonna go back in stealth.
go ahead and roll me stealth check, and everyone else roll perception versus your stealth.
Fuck.
That was so beautiful, though. Crit on a fucking stealth attack. Oh my god.
I see you, fool.
Yeah, you better not go out.
Yeah, double damage with a coup de grace on a stealth check. Like, oh my god. That is ridiculous. You can roll a perception check, Augustus, too, if you wish. Are you going to roll a stealth? Are you going to roll a perception check, Augustus? Huh. I believe he stepped out for the moment. Okay. So anyway, you do notice Porthos. You see that woman that you guys were looking at earlier? Like a freaking shadow of death. She like emerges from a bush, clamps her hand over the guy's mouth and just slits, and then slowly brings him back into the bush.
Porthos is going to pull out his flask, look at it, look at the area where he saw the lady. He's gonna throw the flask away, and then he's gonna shake his head.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. It's now the bandits' turn, but let's see. Some of them are still going to shoot. They're not going to run away.
There's only 2 left.
There are only 2 left, and they're both going to try and shoot at the guy with the flaming sword.
Bring it. My AC is 20.
Yep. So they both fire arrows from their short bows at you, and they ting harmlessly off your armor. I am going to go ahead and cut this fight short because there's no chance in hell that they've got. So go ahead and just tell me how you want to finish this.
Charlie will charge another one and rip his throat out with a wonderfully efficient bite, which is nice and bloody. And I'll charge the other one and, well, decapitate him.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
That is the last of them.
I'll stealthily go back to my tent.
Roll another stealth check. And anyone who wishes to roll a perception to try and see her sneaking back may. Granted, Porthos doesn't need to because Porthos kind of already. Well, you would have to. You lose track of her if you're interested, but if Porthos is not interested in looking for her, then he doesn't have to.
He's not. He like gets in the middle of throwing his flask away, I guess.
Yep.
Charlie cannot find Serena.
Mhm.
And Charlie rolled really good. Charlie rolled decent, so.
So Serena, you sneak away, and no one seems to be the wiser that you can make it back to the the caravan. I'll go ahead and tell you guys what you find on the bandits. Grumph will give you guys, I think, 50 gold.
60.
Actually, what? I'm sorry. He said per head. So the dwarf killed one, so that's 10 gold to the dwarf. And then Augustus got the other, got 4. 5, so that'd be 50.
I'll split it with the dwarf.
Yep, and then
Also,
Serena got one. Serena got one, but she wasn't in the bet, so he actually Grump kind of goes because he failed his perception to see her. Grump kind of goes and he starts counting the bandits. He's like 1, 2.
I walk up behind the dwarf and poke him in the head. Dwarf, get your gold back off those bandits before that ruffian steals it.
You ruined my beautiful plan. You made me say the things I shouldn't have said. So sad.
Just get your gold back.
Yeah, he waddles back to the gold.
Grump just kind of looks and he goes to Augustus and he's like, I think we're missing one bandit.
I think I saw the trees raped a man over there somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was a lady, but that can't be correct.
Huh.
I think it was the tree raping the man, though. So you can check over there.
Grump kind of goes over and he looks in the bush and he's like, well, there's one dead over here. Don't know what killed him.
It was the trees. I assure you, the trees, and totally not the weird lady walking away like she was dead. It was the trees, I tell you.
Damn superstitious dwarf.
Grump kind of looks at the dwarf. You guys notice this because he's not being subtle with it. Grump kind of looks at one of the trees that's near where the guy was killed, and he touches the tree, and he seems to close his eyes for about a couple minutes, pulls his hand away, kind of gives a look of huh, and then just walks back to the caravan.
While he was doing that, the dwarf will look at Augustus and goes, What is he doing? What is it with you Fereldans and weird shit and dogs?
I have to agree with the dwarf on this one. You Fereldans are very strange.
Grump kind of just gives a shrug and he's like, I take that as a compliment.
Take it however you like, but you owe us 60 gold crowns.
He tosses the bag to you.
Right, dwarf, let's go back. I want some sleep.
He's gonna waddle away. I'm going to look for a new flask because I'm pretty sure they have spiked my glorious alcohol with something because I am seeing some shit.
Dwarf,
by the way,
too much of that shit as it is. The only thing spiked with the alcohol is more alcohol that you keep drinking.
By the way, Augustus, that was a pleasure doing business with you, and because that was so entertaining, I'll take first watch.
Thank you kindly. If you find yourself in trouble, Charlie will still be alert.
Of course. I'll even send Fang to go out and take a look as well. Having 2 dogs is better than 1.
Mind your place. Mine is not a dog, it is a direwolf, and a purebred direwolf. You will show them the proper respect.
It is a wolf, a dog. What's the difference? They're all the same things. I'm gonna go
Well.
there and take a nap.
Gromf kind of looks and says, well, there is a difference. And
That's
he
all you're
looks
good for,
over,
drunken dwarf.
he looks over at Augustus and he says, good, I was testing you. Yes, wolves are true wolves.
Direwolf.
Not even Mabari hounds, true wolves that have come from this wilderness. And it's good to have 2 of them on this caravan.
My direwolf is so far above a Mabari hound as we are above ants.
Whatever you say. And he sits up on the caravan and just watches out. And then he pets Fang. And then he just goes back to observing the forest quietly. Serena, is there anything you wish to declare before you doze off?
I'll just go to bed. I'm done for the day. I guess I'll clean up my dagger and stash it again and make sure I don't have any blood on me.
No, you did that so flawlessly and so perfectly that there's just nothing. He didn't even bleed that much because when you came up and grabbed him, you remembered to tilt his head down to block off the cords. So he barely even bled on you at all. There was literally no blood. And even when they went and found the body, it was flawless. Perfect.
Faust.
Literally master, Ezio would be proud at this point. So you go to bed. The night passes uneventful. When Gromf comes off his shift and you guys do your shifts, nothing happens. And you proceed onward, and we will end the session with you guys arriving in Redcliff. And the town is bustling. It's very nice. It's a typical medieval-looking city, very large, very wealthy. And you guys arrive through the front gates. And with that, we'll go ahead and stop the session. Thank you for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. Go ahead. Make one last.
Again, just making a snide comment to the dwarf. Dwarf, deal with our business here. I'm going to see to the washing of my beloved wolf. I will catch up with you momentarily.
Are you really going to wash your wolf in here?
My wolf is cleaner than you at all times, even after a battle.
I take offense in that because I clearly am the cleanest person you will ever meet.
You're not a person, you're a dwarf.
Which is a person.
You're the drunkest person I've ever met so far.
You clearly are not dwarves.
And we will and we will go ahead and fade to black with them arguing in the backdrop of Redcliff. So go ahead and cut the session.